The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Hoppe Hour.
What up? What is happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And live is the very funny comedian from Cigar City Comedy here in Tampa Bay. Krishna Reddy is live. What's up, dude?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, dude. I'm a big fan of you guys at Cigar City Comedy. I just have a few left that I have to get on. I've almost had all you guys on.
We're like collector's items.
Yeah, it was weird because I first heard about you guys when I saw Law Smith about 6 months ago in downtown St. Pete. And you guys have a very catchy name when it comes to Cigar City. And because I was new to town, I didn't know that's like Ybor City. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? So I Googled it. I got Matt Fernandez on, Law, Riga. I've had everybody on. So
And now I'm just completing the collection. It's good.
essentially, Michael completed it last week. My favorite, though, was John Jacobs because he was just
He's
it was
a nut
a back
job.
and forth.
He's a nut
filthy
job.
combo.
Yeah, he's great.
All you guys are good. So how has everything been going for you, man, when it comes to comedy?
Oh, good, man. Can't complain. I've been doing it a few years now, so we get to travel a bit and tell these jokes to all up and down Florida and even outside of that. So it's good.
What are some different places that you like to perform in? Because Tampa Bay has a very diverse comedy scene. So I dig it here, but are there other cities in Florida that are just as good?
Yeah, I know Orlando's got a great scene, a lot of great comics. They've got an improv, and then they've got a lot of smaller rooms, the Bonkers chain down there.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool place to get stage time. I really like Jacksonville a lot. They've got a lot of comedy clubs up
That's
there.
what I've heard.
Yeah, they just closed down one of my favorites. I think it was like Latitude 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
But they still got a comedy zone and comedy club in Jacksonville. All cool stuff. And then you go down the West Coast, where all the old folks are there wanting to see comedy. A lot of cool rooms there too.
What are some cities that are hard to perform in where you have to bring like your top-notch game because they're very picky? Are there any towns where you're like, ugh?
Well, I mean, so a lot of times you get booked to do like these. I can curse, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I won't now because I kind of like preempted it. But like just at middle of nowhere, sort of like what the hell am I getting myself into? Sort of shows it, especially in Florida, where it's like if you're not in a big city, you're in the South. You know, so
Is it kind of racist?
very, very, very racist. And as you can tell, looking at me, I'm not a white guy, so it's
Yeah.
like it's even more so.
Do they
than that.
even pick on you, even though you're not African American? Do they just say things
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're dark skinned?
Yeah, absolutely. And like there's always been like the whole the ethnic stereotypes about Indian, which are all like good stereotypes. It's either like you run like convenience stores, like you're a small business owner, or you're like a mathematician. Like
What is with that? You guys owning like convenience shops? It's
what's wrong with
bizarre.
owning small businesses? You know, I don't know why it's localized in a particular chain, but it's a thing.
It's just, where did that come from? Because I know The Simpsons made it a thing with Apu, but it's just...
But I mean, it was probably a thing before
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Simpsons, of course. I mean, the way I imagine it is something like Indians come here and they're looking for work, and it's
a good way to make money.
I mean, franchising a 7-Eleven is relatively easy, and a Subway and or Dunkin' Donuts, they're all relatively easy to franchise, and that way you're the boss and you make a decent amount of money. Your kids can help out with the business every now and then. So I could see how it would easily happen.
If comedy were not to work out, would you want to do that?
Nah.
Seems pretty boring.
Yeah. No, there's no way. I've got a career of my own, so I don't. So I'm in graduate school right now, as is. It's not like I'm hurting for career options.
Do you want comedy to be your main career?
I want it to be an element of it, you know, because
Yeah.
I feel like of all the comedians that you've met and so on, like most of them are doing stand-up, which is fine. There's that market. But there's a ton of other comedy markets. Basically, if you can imagine some sort of a career or a field or anything, really, there's always a market to combine comedy with it. Because people want funny takes on things on mundane things, you know? So it's always there.
It seems like one of those things where you have it planned out well, because everybody I've had in here could make it big as being a comic and that's it. But there's a lot of people online, like the Vine people or the YouTube comedians, where it seems like they think they're just going to upload a few videos and it's all going to work out for them, and they don't realize that you have to grind it out and maybe have to have side jobs. So I like how you're approaching it, where you're like, that might not be my main career, but I want it to be a part of it.
Right. And then, well, so there's two things. So one aspect is that grinding on stand-up is hard, man. Like, if you want to, like one, developing your craft, going on tour, being a road comic, I've messed around a little bit of it, but not nearly like going full time or anything. But it's hard.
Did you burn out?
Well, it's not even burn out, because I was only going around like Florida and doing like side gigs and stuff like that. But like I see how it burns people out. You wake up, you don't know what city you're in. You're making crap money, just barely staying afloat. You haven't been home in like a month or whatever. So it sucks. It's.
What's it like doing the same jokes over and over? Like, I never have to repeat what I say on my podcast because it's always new material. So does it ever get old? Let's say you do a show at 6, 8, and then 10:30 p.m. Do you ever get sick of doing the same jokes? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You do. And there's definitely jokes that I have that are good jokes, but I just don't tell them anymore because I just got bored with them. And then sometimes I'll go back to them. But I mean, like, I have like a reasonable amount of material now where I can go flip through and say, okay, if I want to do a different set at 6 versus a different set at 8, and I could do that, and then you can also kind of feel out the crowd, so you're not just reciting like poetry to them. You're saying something that's connecting with them,
What do you do to feel out the crowd? Like, do you give them a quick glance? Do you look at them? How do you feel it out?
A lot of times you can look at a crowd and say, okay, this is gonna be one of those clean crowds, corny jokes or whatever, because like you go to like if there's a 6 p.m. show, it's going to be a bunch of old people, and it's like, okay, they're not going to like the sex of the weed or the social media jokes,
Yeah.
So part of it is looking, but then sometimes it'll flip itself on you, where it's not exactly what you expect. Like sometimes like it's the old people, they want raunchy stuff, and it's like, what? I didn't expect that out of you. So usually you can kind of see it, but then you could also, while you're telling jokes, you can kind of progressively. Okay, you start at one point, and then if you just kind of up the ante steadily, you can't go too fast. Otherwise, if you go too fast, they'll pull back on you. But if you just up the ante steadily, you can kind of feel out, okay, maybe they didn't like that one so much, I'll take a step back.
How do you multitask where you focus on the crowd, you try to remember your jokes, and then you try to just roll with the punches? How do you focus when you're up there? Because you can see how the great comics know how to read the crowd, and they're very fast-paced, and then you'll see the open micers that just look confused and lost. What do you do to just make the most out of it?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is you want to be in the moment, so it's like... And I'll catch myself doing this from time to time, too, where I'll be telling a joke, and then I'll be thinking about the next joke. And, like, I have to shake myself out of that and be like, no, I'm telling this joke. Let me do it justice,
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of times I'll go up on stage with kind of like a very, I call it like a skeleton, just kind of like an outline of where I'd like to go. And then, so that way, like, if I need to, like, have a joke ready to go, then I got it. But then also, like, I don't like to think too far ahead. I want to be in that moment.
You can't.
Yeah, I want to be in that moment. Otherwise, it's not like... Otherwise, it just sounds like I'm reciting it, and then the crowd feels that,
It's got to be weird being a comedian, because I could bring prep to my show, but to me, the best shows I do is when I just talk and I just kind of think about what I'm going to say, and it comes out. But with comedy, you have to plan it out, you have to have a script, and you have to practice. So how often during the day are you practicing, maybe when you're driving or maybe working out or in front of the mirror? How often are you reciting those jokes?
Well, it's definitely not the ones I already know, of course. But, like, if I'm thinking about a new joke, I mean, where it usually happens is the open mics, Because, like, you can say it in front of the mirror all you want. There's no substitute for having, like, a crowd in front of you and, like, being in that moment, like I was talking about, and reacting to that. So you kind of write out what you think the joke kind of builds and looks like. You say it in the crowd, and then you say, okay, they like this, they didn't like that, and then you kind of cut out things and add things until it's, like, a joke's never finished. You hear that all the time. But it's never finished, but then there's a point where you're like, okay, this is a pretty good joke, and it's probably a good go-to for whenever I need it. So yeah, it's just usually just I during the day, if I have an idea, I'll write it out, and then maybe I'll think of some things to add on, say it on stage, and then go from there.
Where do you find your prep? Like, are you thinking about your comedy all day long?
No.
Maybe this is because I'm so focused on making the show become big, but I'll watch the news kind of where I check Twitter, and I'll look for headlines that piss me off, and I know that's going to make for the best content, and I'm always thinking about who to book and what I want to do next with the show. How often are you thinking about the creative aspect of your career?
It's tough because, I mean, we all got, like, our own lives, and it's like if you get, like, it's nice to be, like, obsessive and consumed about it, but if you do too much, then it's like, okay, I gotta do the dishes, you know. I got things around the house to do. I gotta pay my bills, you know. So you can't, like, always be in that moment as nice as it would be. But I mean, what I'll do is, like, during the day, I'll have, like, my, like, little notebook or my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And if I think of an idea, I'll put it down just so I can recall, like, what I was thinking. Because otherwise you'll just forget. And then at the end of the day or whatever, then I'll take an hour or so and take a look and see, okay, where would I kind of build this? So I guess I'm a bit more focused when I do that. Not whereas, like, I will set aside time to actually go and look at what I've been writing throughout the day.
It's not that I set aside time, but when I'm at the gym and I'm looking myself in the mirror while I'm lifting, I'm thinking, what do I want to be in my career? I'm not even trying to sound douchey, but when I'm, like, lifting, I get so mad at myself. I'm like, you're going to improve. You're going to make it. When I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about what I want to do. Like, when I'm driving around, I'm thinking, like,
Yeah.
I'm so focused on Hoppe Hour and radio in general that it's like, it's almost not healthy how much I think about it. For example, last night, I'm like, I'm going to take a day off. I'm not going to do a Hoppe Hour. I'm going to binge watch some Netflix. I watched 20 minutes of, like, episode 10 of Jessica Jones, and I'm like, I have to go to the bone and do a Hoppe Hour. So I came in this room and I did one. Like, do you ever get like that where when you begin succeeding, you get addicted to it? I think I'm just so into radio and to the show that it's like, it's sort of all I live for in kind of a sad way, but not really a sad way. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm kind of the opposite, man. I find it tough to concentrate. Like, it's like I get so easily distracted because, like, doing nothing is so easy.
Oh, I'm the opposite,
it's
dude.
like so much, like, it's so
I hate
not
it.
a lot of work to do nothing. But then it's like, yeah, you get to this point where it's like, okay, I'm being this miserable sack of shit, like, lying around and just, like, covered in, like, quesadillas and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's just like, and it's like, okay, I got to do something, you know?
I'm the same way. Like, it's cool to watch Netflix or play Madden when you're with your friends, but when you're by yourself and you're just time is going by as you're just playing Madden or you're watching Netflix, you're like, what could I be doing with this time that's more, like, productive? Do you get like that? Because then I say I have to come here and do a show or I have to begin booking guys.
Absolutely.
I get so addicted to success that I can't just sit there. Dude, I don't know how people binge watch shows. Everyone's like, I watched Making a Murderer in a day. Like, how the hell do you watch 10 hours of a show in a row?
Yeah, I get the same way about people. Everyone be like, did you watch this TV show? No, because I have things that I do in my life, you know?
Dude, I
And
mean,
it's like I leave the house at 8, I come back at 10, you know? Like, I live a life.
I've been watching Jessica Jones since, like, November. Everyone's like, so, are you done yet? And I'm like, no, I'm on episode 10.
You know what I find is that I need to generally, like, if I'm going to watch a TV show, like, chronologically, like a Jessica Jones or like a what's the one that everyone watches, Game of Thrones, I feel like I have to have somebody there with me, otherwise I'm not gonna watch more than one.
Who do you
or
watch
two.
it with, like your girlfriend?
I mean, whatever. No, I'm kidding. Just in general, like whoever's like wants to watch a TV show, you know.
See, I have
doesn't
friends
matter
that
who.
I go to the bars with, and I have friends that I work in radio with. I don't really have any, like, Netflix friends. Like, you come over.
The Netflix and chill.
And I don't have that either right now.
Right.
So it's just kind of weird when I'm there and my cat's sleeping on my bed and I have a small apartment. So I'm like, right now I'm at my apartment by myself watching TV. I don't know. I binge watch TV when I'm about to go to bed and I'll watch an episode. That's binge watching for me. I just don't get this thing where it's like, I got done with Making a Murderer in a weekend. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
You didn't see any sunshine while watching a show that's overrated. I don't.
Well, I'll give you the exception. So my rule was that I got to be watching with somebody. The exception is if I'm watching stand-up. That I'm like, because it'll be like I'll be seeing like because I'm looking at the mechanics of it more as much as I'm looking. Okay, this is funny versus this is not funny. So like I'll be sitting with somebody and I'll just get frustrated. Like, why don't you get what he's doing? So I gotta that's gotta be a me thing,
Do you find it weird watching comedy since you're going into it? Because for me, I used to be such a radio geek where I would listen to multiple shows, and then throughout the day I would listen to like most of it. So I would complete Opie and Anthony or Lex and Terry or Ron and Fez or Howard, where like I'd be at the gym and I'd listen to 2 hours. But now that I work in radio, I don't want to copy them. So I just kind of scroll through shows and listen to 10 or 20 minutes. So what I'm going to ask you is, how is it with you going into comedy? Do you find yourself watching less of it because you don't want to copy them? And since you're in the business, you want to be those guys? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, so I think because, I mean, I got into comedy because I love comedy. I love to laugh, So to me, it feels like disingenuous to completely cut it off. And like,
same.
And then there's people and there's so many comedians that I see that like famous comedians or not famous comedians where I'll like watch their set and I'll be like, oh, okay, I see why that guy was funny, but like it's all mechanics to me now. I see everything they're doing, so it's not special. But then there are those guys like Bill Burr or Louis or Dave Chappelle or whatever, where I'm still like laughing genuinely because they're just funny and they're doing things that are just so crazy original and smart and funny. That point you made about being influenced by other people. I feel lucky because you mentioned Cigar City Comedy earlier. I feel lucky that I'm with a group of guys and girls that we'll call each other out in our bullshit, So it's like, okay, if I like surreptitiously unintentionally took some concept or a bit from somebody, which happens. It happens just because it's easy to hear something and then a few months later be like, think that's an original thought. It happens. But if I do that, they know it's not coming from a malicious sort of place.
Jared Waters is good at that. And I'm not
Absolutely.
even in comedy,
Absolutely.
but he'll tell me, dude, you need to calm down when you're on the radio, or dude, keep up the good work. Like Jared Waters
Absolutely. He's
seems
one of those
like
guys.
the Jedi of the group where everyone kind of listens to him.
Right. And so they'll all of them will be like, okay, I think I heard that bit somewhere, so maybe go listen to that bit and see if it's the same, and then go from there.
Comedy sounds weird because it's so easy to take a joke. I mean, you could say my show's similar to The Bone or Howard or Opie and Jimmy, where it's like edgy talk radio where you rant, but you never take material because it's just your opinion on the news. But it seems like with comedy or acting, it's so easy to accidentally take material without knowing.
I mean, so what do they say? They're basically, I'm probably going to butcher this, but they say that there's no such thing as an original premise.
Especially now in 2016.
Right. There's no such thing. I mean, unless you're talking about, and then if you do have an original premise, it's probably so niche that no one gives a shit, But I mean, there's still ways to attack old premises in original ways. So I mean, I think with social media nowadays, and everyone says this all the time, but with social media nowadays, it's so much easier to call people on bullshit because there's basically a log now online.
Yeah. It's weird how you'll see these comedians, and you guys don't do this because you guys are original, and you guys are a group of non-hacks. But there's all these comedians that I'll see online that tweet jokes that some Tumblr account tweeted or some Willy Wonka account tweeted on Twitter. And I'm just like, how do you look yourself in a mirror and you go, that was funny, when you just cut and pasted that online?
I think all these memes and these vines.
Oh, it's the worst.
I think it's. I mean, stand-up might not be the wave of the future. I worry about it because it's like
you don't
if
have
you
the attention span.
Well, it's like if you want to laugh, would you rather spend an hour and a half for 2 hours and go to a comedy show and spend money on drinks and stuff like
Yes.
that, or would you look at memes with like Triceratops or whatever the memes are nowadays? I don't even know.
Vines are horrible. There's
Vines.
this one like
There's another
17-year-old
example.
black kid who is not funny, but everybody who's a millennial loves him. I don't know if you've seen him.
I don't watch that stuff.
I just see it on Twitter, and everyone retweets it. And he's funny if you're 17 years old,
Which
but
is
he
fine,
has
it's a market.
500,000 followers. I'm like, oh my God, for 7 seconds. And then these guys will get YouTube specials and all these accounts online.
Well, so my question is, and so this
annoying.
is something I've been wondering about. So you have, say, your 500,000 Vine followers, Instagram followers. and I can see how you can monetize that and get that to a next, like, I guess the next sort of level, because there's games and advertising and all sorts of stuff. But what's the evolution of that? Like, I wonder, how do you really make money off of that? How do you really make a career off of that? Because there's going to be a shelf life, because Vine isn't always going to be the social media, right?
Vine's gone away in a lot.
Because a lot of these Instagram comedians or whatever want to do stand up and improv and act, and stuff like that. And that seems like it's going to end up being the denominator, but I don't know. Do these guys just roll with the times? It's social media?
I've thought about this too. Here's why I think live comedy will always do well is because you guys have it planned out to do up to 45 minutes of comedy. I feel like these kids that do Vine videos can't even fill up 45 seconds in front of a crowd. It's so much different to do a selfie video for 7 seconds and to be funny than to be in front of everybody and perform. That's why I'm not afraid about comedy going away. This is going to be a trend. This is no different than a MySpace or any of those accounts. Vine's gone away as it is. It's corny.
But, I mean, I wonder if... So you're just talking about a traditional sort of stand-up 45 minutes headlining format. But, I mean, what if there's a different live format that more showcases their abilities? Because they do have abilities. That's not in doubt.
It depends.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have the followers.
Well, it's because young people think it's funny because they don't know any better. I mean, it's ridiculous that they find a 7-second video funny. I mean, I'll see all these accounts retweet it. If it's from World Star Hip Hop... or any of these accounts.
To be fair, a dude getting the shit kicked out of him is hilarious.
I know.
I'm talking about
funny. More of these little vines that are on the site, not the fights in Baltimore or Chicago. Those are great.
Awesome.
I'm talking more about these guys who do like observational, where they're in front of a TV and they're making fun of some white news reporter, or they're doing some joke about white dads. It's like, it's so hacky. It's so unoriginal. It's just,
hey man, there's room for hacks in stand up. You know it. You see it. There's famous dudes who are hacks and going out there doing it. That's another point. Is that, so what you see a lot hanging around the stand up clubs is that you see there's comedians who have been working on the craft for a long time, and obviously can handle 45 minutes no problem. But then there's the other side of this where you have a celebrity famous in some other fashion, and they're funny in their own context, or whether it's acting or improv or whatever. But if they want to monetize their own personal brand, they have to go do stand-up, and then the quality ends up declining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could probably see it once a month at any of the major clubs. You know, that an example of that. But people still come and they still have a good time because their openers make you laugh, and then you get to see.
There's just something about drinking a beer, eating nachos, watching comedy that's fun. I'd rather do that and go out on the town than sit at home watching a Vine. I mean, seeing Jim Norton at Side Splitters.
Yeah.
I'm not even just saying this because I had him on the show. Was one of the best live experiences ever. I mean, Jared Waters killed it. Kelsey Cook killed it. To be around friends and to laugh for 2 hours in a row, like you drive home refreshed. Or when I've seen Pete Davidson,
but you're a rare breed, though. You're not. I mean, so other people they don't need that sort of fix. You know what I mean?
I did notice this too. Jim Norton could have the best joke possible, and there were kids there. Are in our age, like our mid-20s. I'm 22. How old are you?
24.
Yeah, so we're in our early 20s, and there was plenty of people there that went with their parents, and they did not seem amused by Jim Norton at all, even when he's doing his best joke and he's ranting. So it kind of made me realize that maybe comedy does have a shelf life, or we're just different because we're into comedy, that we appreciate it. But some people our age to see it as some middle-aged dude talking.
All right, here's the way I just thought of this,
what do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. But basically, so in like the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I'll argue even 80s and 90s, movies were huge, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you did because there wasn't anything to do, you know? And now, I mean, movies have declined. Like, you go to a movie for a nickel, and it was like, and you just did that like once a week or whatever. And it declined because, now you have, it went from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, all that stuff. But it's
who even buys a Blu-ray?
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. But Netflix. But really, movies went as a very central thing in American culture to now it's kind of like a fringe thing. It's like, oh man, we want to see Star Wars in the big screen. But like other than that, it's like I'll do this too. It's like, okay, I want to. If it's like a movie with a lot of explosions, I'll go see it in the theater. And if it's not, I'll go wait till it comes out on DVD. I don't care that much.
I'm not into movies because I don't have the attention span to sit there for 2.5 hours. I mean, I fell asleep during The Force Awakens. Like, I just can't do it.
The Force goes to sleep. Okay. So, but my point is it underwent a transition, and stand-up is maybe a decade or two behind, and it's going through that transition now, where it's used to be a more... Like in the 80s and 90s, people love to go see stand-up,
I think Pete Davidson's going to save comedy. I saw him live at the Improv about 5 months ago.
Good.
That dude was hilarious. He was high out of his mind, and he had a notebook, and when he would forget his jokes, he would just look at the notebook, and he made it work. It was...
That shit makes you mad, though, because he's like, what, 20, 21?
He's 22 or 21.
Jeez, man. And he's killing it. He's working his ass off.
I went to the bathroom. And it was right after he went in there, just randomly. I'm going to the bathroom, and he's walking out, and we nodded at each other. It reeked of marijuana. My God. It was like walking out of a rap concert.
He's like a 21-year-old kid making ridiculous amounts of money on SNL.
Could you imagine being on Saturday Night Live at age 22 when you're supposed to be in college?
I would do so much cocaine. You don't even know.
I'm not saying me and him took the same route, but he dropped out of school to pursue comedy. I dropped out of community college about 3 years ago to go into radio. I went to a radio trade school. I graduated. Then I worked in Cleveland, got laid off. Now I'm here in Tampa. So to me, it's what I see in Pete Davidson is he reminds me of myself, where he has such a passion for comedy. Yeah, without the success and him banging girls and being on TV. I just see it as people like him are the ones that are so passionate about what they do that he got it done at an early age. And that's what I want to be. I want to be the next talk show host for my generation.
And he is obviously an outlier where, one in a million.
He got lucky, too.
But keep in mind, there's thousands of other people who were just like him, who followed similar paths in terms of dropping out and going with your passion.
It's his voice, too. He's got a very good voice for comedy.
But I think no matter what, no matter who you are, if you have passion for something and you work hard, you'll eventually find success. But the question now is, what's the definition of success? You know what I mean?
Mine is where I don't need a second job. What I want is I want happy hour.
It's a very attainable goal.
Yeah. My thing is, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, where do I want this show to go? I think I wanted to make it here in Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay is so loyal and they know their names in comedy or theater or music or radio or TV. Everybody can be a local celebrity. So my thing is, I want to make it here because I had Amanda Jordan here, and she's very funny, and she killed it for 90 minutes.
Absolutely.
And her dream is to be in Los Angeles. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, for comedy, that's very plausible. And since she is so electric, she can make it work. But for radio, it's like that's the second biggest city. You have no fighting chance for what I want to do. So for me, I guess success is having a nice house, having kids and a wife, a nice car, and doing what I love each day. What do you want to do? What is your definition of success?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Because I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Yeah.
I've been in town for about 8 months, and you're my 61st guest. How honored are you?
Yeah, that's a significant number. Nothing like lucky number 61. No, but, this life's so short, and I think...
I've been thinking about that, too.
I think success is, I think I'd be happy, because you're very, single track minded in a good way, meaning that, you're all about this radio life and stuff like that. But do you think that there's another career path that, say, if radio didn't exist, that there's another career path you would also be happy with?
I think...
Say if radio didn't exist.
Then I never would have known about it. I've been thinking about that, too. Right. I'm like, if I never tuned on to radio, what would I want to do? And I have no idea.
But what I'm saying
so
is,
bizarre.
What I'm saying is that, there's so many different options, especially in this day and age, that it's not hard to find happiness. It used to be hard. A lot harder, I think. I think now because there's so many options and there's so many ways to. It's easy to find options nowadays. I don't think it's that hard for me. Success. I'd like to.
What's your dream job?
Dream job. That's what I mean. Is that like I don't have like a particular dream job. I mean, doing stand up would be nice, but like, you know what? All right. Happiness is people. So for me, I think it would be cool to basically be my own boss and being able to do multiple things that I love. Because there are a few things that stand-up and comedy being one of them. And having not only the flexibility to do many things, but also like the earning power, you know?
For that to happen, I've been thinking about it too. To be your own boss, you have to listen to people and you have to find mentors. Like I have mentors in radio like Mike Kelta and people in different cities, but there's guys like Law Smith who you feel like you're successful when you're around them. Dude, I love being around business-minded people who know what they're doing, which is why I'm interning with Law and why I approached him is because I want to learn things besides radio so that I'm business-minded. Because if you want to go into comedy or TV or radio, you have to know the business side so you can always have a backup plan, you know?
Oh, and I think knowing the business side is just, for anybody, is just smart to do. Yeah, I mean, again, there's so many different options and being able to have a diversity about you, especially in, like, for example, like you always hear like if you want to go to LA to do comedy, you have stand up and then they're like, cool, what else do you do? Because they want to see diversity. They want to see, okay, you're writing sketches or you've got some acting chops or whatever. You know, it's not.
Los Angeles seems so douchey. I'm not about that.
Absolutely. There's the LA stereotype, which is very, very true. Yeah, if I ever go to California, which is very possible, it wouldn't be in LA. It'd be something a little less.
San Francisco seems
San
cool.
Francisco, San Diego, even like
Sacramento.
Sacramento's all right.
Have you been there?
Have not. I got a buddy from there though. Mikey Winfield. He's good people, and he's doing very well stand up, based out of Sacramento.
See, I like markets like that where you can be the big fish in like a medium pond or a small pond. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have a chance in Los Angeles. I think it's because of my ego. But when I worked on this show in Cleveland, people would recognize me at bars, and that's flattering.
How do they recognize you at bars? You're on fucking radio.
The show called Rover's Morning Glory had RMG TV, where you can watch the show live, and I'm 6 foot, a million, so it's easy to recognize me.
How tall are you? What, like 6'6"?
6'8". I might be 6'9". I might have grown an inch. A lot of people think I got more tall. So it's very easy to see me in public, and it makes me feel good that people listen to my show while they're at work or while they're driving around. And that doesn't happen in Los Angeles because you have the Kevin and Beans and the Ryan Seacrest and all these guys that take up the market, which is fine. They earned it. But like down here in Tampa, it's so diverse and it's such a transplant area that anything is possible to me. Or Orlando.
I mean, yeah, even I get like recognized rarely, but I mean every now and again. But I mean the converse of the whole LA argument you were just making is that if you're famous somewhere else, like in, I don't know, in England or France or even like anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
If you go to LA, you can basically live in LA with anonymity but still be rich, you know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yeah, and then there are plenty of people that have come from overseas and have tried to make it big here, and they'll give them a Comedy Central show, and they all bomb. There's something about comedy overseas that does not translate over here. I don't know what it is, but there's tons of guys who they have tried to make work. Like the guy that replaced Craig Ferguson right now. His ratings are not doing good, and he's doing these videos with Adele to try and get attention.
Oh,
James Corbin or whatever.
He's British, right?
Oh, he is horrible.
Okay, I've seen like snippets of him, but
exactly. No one watches him. Like, it does not translate.
Well, shit, I never watched Craig Ferguson either.
Oh,
so.
I do. I loved Craig Ferguson. See, I'm very into comedy. Like, I liked Craig Ferguson. I grew up on Jay Leno just because I was a kid. I appreciate Letterman more now. I despise Fallon.
Really?
Oh my God, is he a goofball? He's
Well,
more of a ringleader. He's not a comedian. He's just known for doing impersonations and for having a circus of a show. Let's do
All right.
karaoke.
Let me make my argument for Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, he's the worst.
I'm gonna make my argument for Jimmy Fallon, and I think I'm only making this argument because he has the Roots as his backing band, which is like one of my top 5 like favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Fallon took a late night show, which was who's it before?
Leno.
It was Leno's. Okay, fair. But even before it was the Tonight Show, formerly Conan's, right?
It was. He had it for about 6 months, and then Leno got that back.
But all right, so Conan was I guess relatively the most youngest talk show host, and he had like unique elements, but it was still there's this talk show format.
He was not given a chance. It was sickening.
But my point is that so you have all these talk shows. It's a very basic format. You got monologue, you got interview, commercial break, another interview, and then a band will play or something like that. Very, very typical. And I like that Jimmy Fallon took that format and made it his own. Whether or not you appreciate the format is different.
The format's just goofy. The format could work at 3 p.m. He could go up against Ellen DeGeneres and kill. It's not late night TV. It's such a free-for-all. To me, he's not a funny guy. He's entertaining, he's talented, but he's not a funny guy, so he relies on everybody else. To me, he's a very talented ringleader. He brings in all the talent.
Which is not a bad thing.
But I prefer guys like Jimmy Kimmel who have their own content.
But he's already got 2 or 3 of those competing against him. So you're
really digging Colbert. He's way too political for me.
Yeah, it's interesting that he went that direction, though, considering...
It's so odd. I don't know. It's just, he's a weird replacement. I'm not digging it.
Yeah.
Well, I liked Letterman. I'm just kind of traditional. I liked Letterman, Kimmel. I have no idea why Arsenio Hall even tried to come back. That was a bomb.
Yeah? Okay. I think I saw some of the music acts from Arsenio.
He was good for about 8 months.
He was killing the music acts, that's for sure.
Because he was giving all these up-and-coming rappers attention, but that was it.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
I don't know. I just can't imagine doing a talk show like that where you have to be funny in front of everybody. It's so cornball. I prefer uncensored comedy where you don't have to be like all PC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it exists for a reason. People are buying it. It's
because like middle-aged people from the Midwest who just got off of their job want to watch Jay Leno or Jimmy Fallon. It's lame.
Yeah, that's the thing. That I used to watch. God, who did I watch all the time? Must have been Conan. Back in college, 'cause that's when I could stay awake that late. It's like now I can't even make it till 11:30. It's like,
oh really?
Shit.
I'm a night animal, dude.
I
hate getting up in the morning.
I can't.
I feel like you're the opposite of me.
Maybe.
Dude, I can be up till 3 partying or even just watching TV and then sleep until noon. I feel like you're the guy that can get up at 6.
Well, yeah, I gotta get up at 6, but I'll usually be in bed at like 11 or 12 and be up at 6 or 7. Yeah.
It is weird how when you go to bed late, your whole day is like thrown off, and you're like,
absolutely.
what am I doing?
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's just I live a very bizarre life because all my friends are supposed to be in college.
Yeah,
and they are, and I'm here in Tampa Bay doing radio and having the best local podcasts at 1 in September, having the best comedians on, and all my friends are partying, getting their degrees, and being an accountant or a lawyer. And it's just weird how I took a different route in life. But I'm so focused on being the next big thing in radio that it's like I don't really care anymore.
I'm going to get on one of my many pedestals, but I don't think, and I think I appreciate that you did that because I don't think college is for everybody. Like, there's so many, like, besides, like the science or math or engineering or anything technical or anything math-based or, there's not a whole lot of purpose for a lot of these degrees.
It's a waste of money.
Well, that's what it is they're gouging people. It's like you go to, like, all these, like, a lot of these liberal arts degrees, like English and stuff like that. It's cool, like, if you want to either become a professor or a lawyer. That's all it is. It's like, if you don't do that, then you're shit out of luck, and you're going to be working retail or something like that, and that's what happens, and it's a shame.
And it's just like, there's people that I know in radio who are successful. They make probably 6 figures, and they're maybe 29 to, like, 30.
Yeah.
Maybe 31. And they're not done paying off their college bills. And they make good money. And I'm just like...
I tell you what, their degree didn't matter one bit. Maybe their college experience developed them into who they were, but the degree itself didn't get them to where they're at now.
Because if you're making six figures, there's no reason that you should be having to pay off these bills like 10 years later.
Well, the problem is that there's a stigma. Now, it used to be like, I keep saying this like I'm like an old fucking fogey. I'm 24, but really what happened was you used to have to, it didn't matter if you went to college because there was all these options. Like in terms of, it didn't feel mandatory. Now it feels mandatory. You know,
there's so much pressure about you got to get this nice job and a nice house.
Right. It feels like you're graduating high school and it's like, okay, it's just you got to go to college. That's what it's become now. And it's like, do you really?
And it's like
there's a lot of very respectable, well-paying jobs that you can just go to a 2-year technical school or trade school or whatever. And
here's what I think happens too.
Loads of money.
The biggest problem is the parents want their kids to be them. And they want them to take the route in life where they're successful, but the kids see college as a way to break away from them and to just party. There's so many kids I know, and I'm not trying to make myself seem like I'm better than them.
But you are.
But in the way
kidding.
There's so many kids who just drink and party and do ecstasy. Like I went back to Illinois, and they're like, want to take some Xanax? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm not an idiot.
Well, I think there's a compromise because... Yeah, like obviously your parents want you to go to college.
And they just party too much because they're overcompensating for working so hard in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can compensate. Like when I was in college, I partied fair amount, but I still got my degrees or whatever and got out of there.
But these are the jocks who just kind of lost track of time in high school, and they don't want that party life to go away.
Yeah, that's what college is good for. And heck, and that's the argument for one of these English degrees is it's not that hard. You just go party and you pass your English classes and you go.
And then you're broke forever.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't know. I can't imagine being in it just because I did community college for 6 months, and
it's not meant for everybody.
I'm so bad at math that I hated that. I've never been good at math, dude.
Yeah,
because of my ADHD, I just can't sit there and just do fucking numbers for an hour.
Yeah.
Screw that. Oh my God, it's horrible.
The college system is not meant for everybody, and it's not a crime because it's such a if you look at the pie chart of all the different careers, it's such a small segment of the pie that you need a college degree
especially
for,
how
you know
radio
what I mean?
isn't always high paying, you know?
Right.
So like there's no reason to have an $80,000 debt just because you want to make it in radio. Like I went to a school that was about $18,000 for a whole year, and it was a radio trade school, and that's all I needed.
Yeah. Okay.
So now I'm just trying to find that foot in the door. I mean, I have the foot in the door here. It's just I'm trying to
make sure they don't press it on you.
They don't kick
break
me
your
out.
foot.
I don't know. It's just I've been really thinking about what I want in life, and
yeah, you're at that age, man, and I've just kind of shifted out of that kind of thing. So you'll find it. I mean, and like I said, if you keep pushing, you'll. That's all you can do, right?
It's
you got to control the things you can control, and the only thing you can control is how hard you work.
It's just life is such a weird thing because like you go to school when you're younger and you're told you have to get great grades and this is all that matters, and then you graduate and you go across and you wave to everyone and you get your diploma in high school and you realize those 12 years of my life, more than a decade, meant nothing. Like, yeah, it meant good grades to get into college, but like it didn't really matter if you fit in or not. I tried so hard to fit in and to be the cool guy, and I didn't embrace my goofy self. And I tried to be athletic, even though I'm not coordinated. It's like I look back and I'm like, why didn't I just do my thing and just realize that I knew what I wanted to do?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a learning experience. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not something. No one inherently is that sort of rebel. You know, it takes those formative experiences to learn that you're not that guy. You know what
was
I mean?
the moment when you had that? To me, the moment was this. This is great. Talked about this before. I thought for some reason, even though I'm not athletic and I wasn't an actor or I wasn't in band, that I was going to hook up with the hottest cheerleader at our school.
You got a dream, Doug. Why can't you dream? You can dream. What's wrong with dreaming?
She used to make fun of me, and she used to TP my house and egg me, but I thought she was turned on by me. So one day at lunch, I kept talking about her. So then she comes over, and she's like, Ryan, you have no chance with me. You're never getting in my pants, blah, blah, blah. So I crush off my milk carton. And oh, my God. It's ridiculous. I go, but I would treat you like a princess. I crush off that milk carton, and I got made fun of until I graduated.
I'm about to say, is that one of those events? Because we all have those events where you just like wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. And you're like, I did that.
It's one of those things where
I have those too, man. I've got tons of those.
Or I had this moment too, and I've expressed this on the radio in Cleveland, and I guess I've talked about it down here. And I guess I'll tell you, when I was a freshman, I thought my teacher was really hot, my math teacher. I had the biggest crush on her.
Yeah.
And one day,
you could have been that Florida guy, like who
I know
that could have been you. Because like
how happening all the time.
How tall were you then? You must have been
6'8". No, I was probably 6'5" back then.
Yeah, so you were like a normal sized human, like maybe above average size.
All I wanted was to bang my teacher because I didn't think I had a chance with the cheerleaders, but it was so plausible that one day I was so roughed up and so horny that I jerked off in the bathroom, and my friend, or not really my friend, saw the feet moving. So throughout high school, I always noticed the kid who jerked off in the bathroom, and that never went away. And there were days...
nor should it, because that is strange. All right?
It's not strange. Other kids did it. The quarterbacks did it, but because I was the goofball... Oh, heaven forbid we move on.
Wait. You're saying everybody? I never jerked off in the bathroom in high school. Maybe I'm like the paragon of sanctity.
Me, other kids were like, don't worry, we've done it too. It's more like when you're a freshman. I was so worked up that day.
But I'm just trying to break this down because like, why couldn't you just wait?
I don't know.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Why can't I tell myself from 2008, just relax? Like, obviously it's going on 8 years, so it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, man.
But it's like, oh my God, what was I doing?
Slip that shit up in your waistband. Instant boner killer.
I've moved on.
And then you go on with life. Jeez. You know, this is funny.
Out?
This is like the first time we've met, and this is already like a... we shook hands in the beginning, and now I'm regretting it a little bit.
You gotta go get some hand sanitizer.
Right.
I swear I'm not. I don't know.
No, but I mean, like,
I'm not a pervert, even though everybody from Cigar City Comedy, all our discussions turn into porn.
You did this. I didn't bring this up. You were the one who wanted to talk about jerking off.
My show's never like fake. I'm being honest.
Yeah, but you see, every Cigar City comedian you've had here, it's veered off into that direction.
Because I feel so comfortable.
You're the common denominator.
Because I feel so comfortable around you guys that the truth comes out.
Oh, jeez.
Like I had Cam Bertrand on, and he's like, everybody said that you just end up talking about porn. It's like, because we're dudes in a room just chillaxing, brah.
Well, I'll be fair to you, because I feel like the list of people in my head and like who would do something like that. Now you're number one, but I feel like Cam is also top 5. He's also a very creepy fella.
Cam is very hyper. I like it. He reminds me of me. Like I know so much about comedy. No, I know so much about radio that I've wanted to do this forever. I really like how he knows so much about comedy that he's wanted to do this forever.
Absolutely.
And he's doing well. He just made it past the Sweet 16 in that competition at Side Splitters.
Oh, yeah?
So shout out to him.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. There's a lot of good comedians in this area.
Look, Cam's my boy. I love him. I hope he's very successful, but like now, like every time I see him miserable, it makes me happy. You know, because he's like a young kid who's going out there and getting it, and he's having so much success. And I enjoy that I'm not jealous, but I enjoy that he has success. But I just like to see like his ego humbled, like every now and then.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about. I love Cam. I wish him the world, but
there's something about
his ass needs to be knocked down every now and again, and I enjoy when it happens.
There's something about young go-getters like me or him, where a lot of people like you guys who are like maybe 4 years older just love to see us get the reality check and see it get smashed across the face.
And you know why? It's because we were there. We had that moment, so we see that, and we're like, oh, this is nice because this is how I experienced it, and this is how it should be, you know?
Yeah, because we think we know everything. Because me and Cam are literally the same age, and we think we know everything, and we got it planned out.
I'm about to say, your guys' discussion must have been like the worst because it's just two guys saying the exact same thing, like back and forth against each other.
I had to take out the discussion we had about pornography because it was so X-rated on his end, and he will even admit it that we had to take it out.
He's got a problem. Yeah.
Oh, it was weird. It was where it's cool to talk about that at the bar, but I'm like, for a professional career, even though my show's laid back, I'm like, I might have to take this out. I was like, this is a little too vulgar for me.
Okay.
We're talking about like target practice and that. He brought it up, and I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Now you're bringing it up. You see how this comes full circle?
Me and him are very similar.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We're very hyper kids. We're young 22-year-olds. We're go-getters.
Is Cam 22 now? I thought he was 21.
Same
He
thing.
could be, yeah.
Graduated 2012, same as me. I know that. He's fun to go out drinking with. Oh, here's an example.
You've been out drinking with Cam? Jeez.
Oh, here's an example.
That's got to be fun.
About a month ago, me, him, and Jared Waters went to Applebee's.
Oh, that's my favorite spot, fucking Applebee's. When I want to turn up. See the family units on their special Thursday night dinner. That's where I like to get crunk. The Applebee's, Jesus Christ!
We went there.
You fucking kids.
It was so great. Me and him were getting a little bit tipsy. He was more drunk. I was just buzzed, and I guess Jared was getting annoyed at us because we were being really loud.
Because Jared's an adult. All you had to do was tell me the three people in the Applebee's, and I could have told you the whole story. I could have been you. We could have switched seats. I could have told you the whole story.
Yeah, we're talking about like the times we've had sex and we're being loud, and there's a couple next to us, like middle-aged, that had to move.
Yeah,
we were unaware.
Poor Jared. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
And Jared's just like sitting there drinking water, eating his like nachos, just in silence.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, Jared's one of a kind. I love being around that dude. He's legit.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a unique individual.
There's something about Florida, man. The people here are either bad shit crazy or they're humble as hell. And the comedy scene, there's fun people to be around, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the cool thing about Cigar City is that like we're all comedians, we're all trying to get better and do this career thing. But then at the end of the day, we're all friends. We all hang out with each other. We all support one another. It's
There's
fun.
So many egos in radio, and it gets to their head.
Yeah.
And it's nauseating. And it's like being around comedians is just a bunch of dudes drinking, just laughing. Like sometimes I have to back off from the radio game and realize that I'm nothing when it comes to this. Like,
absolutely.
Or in comedy, like it gets to our heads when we have a great show or we're getting recognized by famous people. But then it's like, at the end of the day, we're nothing. Like on the greatest scheme of things, like Bieber is this huge universe and we're just this ant. Comedians are radio personalities. We're nothing.
Forget Bieber. You're like, if you want to talk about insignificance, we're one planet on this galaxy of millions of planets, and then, and then
I don't know. Do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in aliens? Shit.
I don't think it's real. I think it's. Ugh.
I don't believe in the stereotype
like
of
the
aliens.
Green aliens,
like that have spaceships and like humanoid or whatever. I think that there's life outside the Earth.
But when you say life, it could just be like a plant or something.
Yeah, it could be bacteria, plants, or whatever. That if you give them 1 million years, just like humanity, it'll develop into something.
I don't know. I don't know what to believe in. Like my mom's like Roman Catholic, and she's very traditional. And you go to church every week. You wait till marriage. You don't drink. You don't do anything fun. And I'm just like, I don't even say I would be an atheist. I just don't know what I am. I just.
Yeah, it's like the way I feel is like I'm just like I kind of just don't care. It's like the way I always think of it is if there is some sort of higher deity, which I really don't believe. But if
it doesn't seem plausible.
Well,
like, you really think about it. It seems like believing in Santa or the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy. It just seems like something that's kind of just brought up. Like, there's a God, the Bible's real. It's just,
well, it's like,
know.
all right, my opinion on all this stuff is, at the risk of not making too many people angry, it's that...
No, go on. This is what Happy Hour does.
If you are a good person, you do you find your passion, you do what comes best to you, and you work hard, and you do good things, then I don't, like, even if there is a God, like, I don't think they can hold that much against you, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's just like...
And if they do, then it's like, I don't really fuck with you anyways.
Here's what confuses me about why I don't think God's real. And I'm not even trying to depress you or bring down the conversation, but like 14 months ago, my dad died of leukemia. So it's one of those things where he died of leukemia, but then you see Jim Kelly and Craig Sager and all these famous people who are beating leukemia. So it's like there's all these hashtags, pray for Craig Sager or pray for Jim Kelly. And it's like, okay, God fixed it for them,
well,
but not my dad. Or then it's like...
No, cancer killed Bowie, though, so your argument becomes invalid.
Exactly. Or then you see... But that's what I'm saying, is like... It just seems like praying's nothing. And my dad was a Roman Catholic who did not eat meat on Fridays and was just uber religious. And it's just like, that's why I don't believe. It's like these atheist quarterbacks are beating cancer, but then my dad loses to it. Or another example, like there's so much crime in the world. I know this is the cliche thing to say about religion, but don't you think God would maybe have a little blessing on Baltimore when they had 700 murders last year, an all-time high for them? Or in Chicago and all the turmoil that's going on in this world? Wouldn't there be a little blessing where God's like, okay, I have to come in and fix things? It's just...
So I used to study this shit, and...
What do you think?
I think with religion, it's
a comfort zone.
One, the people who follow religions can definitely... You can always rationalize all these things you're saying. It's not hard, you know... It's like bad things happen to good people, you know, that there's all sorts of cliches and stuff like that you can use to talk around it. Okay, it's these things are God's will, and who are we to question it, you know?
Yeah.
There's all sorts of archetypes that make what you're saying kind of obsolete in their view, right? The other thing is that in general, religion can give people a sense of community, a sense of purpose.
It's
reason to do good.
It's a comfort zone.
Well,
you feel like you're a part of something.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, who doesn't want to feel part of something? You know, there's good qualities in religion.
And my thing is, you'll talk to people who are Roman Catholic, and they have so much passion in their voice about how God's real and how God has helped them, and it's like, I believe that they believe that passionately about it. I just don't believe that it's real.
Fine. Yeah. I think both of those are fine.
I don't know. It's depressing to like think about at times. You know what I
it's
mean?
like at the end of the day, it's like if they're a happier, if that gives them happiness and if that gives them purpose, like who are we to argue with that?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. Like it helps my mom get through the day. It's just I don't know. It's just I feel like I need to be a part of something. And then there's times where for 2 seconds I go, is God real? After I just interviewed my hero Jim Norton. But then it's like, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's because I've been working so hard, I got it myself. It's like, I don't know where to go. Or then, let's say you get pulled over by a cop and you don't want to get a ticket. That's when you begin praying, please, God, don't give me a ticket. And it's like, I'm such a fucking phony.
Yeah, everyone believes in it. Well, what you got to say is, God, if you're real.
That's what I do too. You're like, God, if you're out there, please, I don't need another ticket for going 80 and a 40. Like, I don't know.
And then he's like, get in line behind all the believers because that's where you deserve to be.
I don't know. It's just, it's something I think about like always at night. Like it would come up like now at 8 p.m. Not at like 3 in the afternoon.
Something interesting you might not have heard of. There's this idea called Pascal's wager. All right.
Sounds very intelligent.
Yeah, I'm about to drop some fucking knowledge.
Oh, let's see this, dude.
I'm about to drop some fucking knowledge. So Pascal's wager. I think it was Blaise Pascal. So he was a scientist, but like back in like those 1600s era, all the guys who were scientists of the time were also thinking about things like God, right? So Pascal's wager was basically answering the question, should you believe in God or not, right? And so you could think of it as a 2x2 square, right? On one side of the square is God real? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right? And then the other side of the square is, do you believe in God? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right? And so the idea was, if you go through all these different permutations, so God isn't real, but you believe in God. God isn't real, and you don't believe in God. And then vice versa. God's real, and you believe in him, or God's real, and you don't believe in him. Basically, the idea that came out of that was that your best bet is to believe in God, because worst case, he doesn't exist, and then, okay, you just wasted a little time.
I thought about that, too. It's like you might as well just believe in it, because we'll know once we're dead if it's real or not.
And then if he is real, then you made the right choice. You made the right choice because you're at the front of the line. You're in heaven, right? And so, of course, it's a very simplistic argument, because you can imagine, okay, then you have all these permutations. Like, did you really believe in God, or did you believe in the right God, so on and so forth? But
God will shake his head. Come on now.
Come on, you were just looking at the square. You were just looking at the square,
Krishna.
you T-bat. Right. But it's like an interesting thought experiment, that kind of, you could see how other people would believe in God, just thinking pragmatically,
What do you think? Do you believe in, like, an afterlife?
I mean, my people believe in reincarnation. I'm trying to be an elephant. That shit sounds cool.
I'm meh. I don't know. Because what makes me not believe in it is I hear that, like, when people see something, like when their life is passing them by, like when they're about to die, that it's the serotonin in the brain. And that's what kind of scares me. And there was a dude in my gym back in Illinois who died for 10 minutes, and he said it was just like sleeping. And that's when you're like, ugh. You don't like hearing that.
Well, it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, shit, the afterlife's hopefully so far away. It's like, I just got to worry about this one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't even think about it. It's funny how, like, fast time goes, because, like, it's weird to think that I've been in town for almost 3/4 of a year, and it seems like just a year.
Time ain't shit, yeah.
I know, like, it's just so weird that I moved here in May, dude.
Was it Louis? I think Louis's got this bit where he's like, well, it's funny, like, we're alive, but, like, I'm going to butcher it, but he's basically saying that we spend so much more time dead than we do alive. Like, if this was like a pie chart, like, we're not spending that much of it alive. Most of our lives are going to be dead,
I know, it's weird to think about, just because, like, especially with all these celebrities dying, like the lead singer of the Eagles, and then the guy from Harry Potter, and it's just like, even rich, famous people die, you know what I mean? Like, someday Betty White's,
They say they're dying. maybe they're all this money.
a part of the famous Hollywood afterlife.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I think about a lot. Especially, it's just, and this is something I've brought up on other happy hours. Here's what scares me. 2006 was 10 years ago. That baffles me. Like, the song Lean With It, Rock With It came out 10 years ago, dude.
10 years, jeez.
I know.
Yeah, man, time moves forward.
So where do you want to see yourself in 10 years?
I'm sorry, I immediately thought of the Hedberg answer, which is celebrating the 10-year anniversary of you asking me this question.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be nice to, I think at that point I'd be relatively, like, know what my career is and relatively start it. That makes sense, like, in the early stages. Be nice to have a house and a dog and shit. Maybe a family.
I want to live on a beach here in Tampa Bay with a hot wife and a nice car. And
and you're not asking for all that much.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to be like the next Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you want to be a headliner in comedy?
Well, I mean, again, it all depends on your definition of headliner. Like, if I'm doing, like, road gigs 40 weeks out of the year, in, like, Tulsa and shit like that, no, that shit sounds terrible.
You seem like a guy where you don't want to do that.
Right, but if I'm headlining things I want to headline and not having, I think the big thing is not having it influence your thoughts financially, where it's like, I know a lot of guys,
money gets to their head.
Well, not even gets to their head. It's just that, like, you think about gigs for the money rather than, like, is this going to be a good gig or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's happened to me, like, early on. I was like, I wasn't getting a whole lot of stage time anywhere, so it's like, okay, I'll go do this gig in Southwest Florida, bumfuck nowhere, because they're offering me $100.
That just seems boring doing it.
Well, and then you go down there and you're like, oh, this is awful. And I knew it was going to be awful because it's in BFE, and that's what happens. That's how it goes.
And nothing is more awkward than a bad comedy show. You're just cringing in your seats.
And
like
it's
for every Jim Norton, there's an awful show.
Right. And it's like the rational part of me knew that was going to happen, but I saw $100, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it.
How did you do, though? Were you okay?
Well, I'm just saying that as like a very general thing. But, I mean, it's happened. There's one show I'm thinking of. God, it was with J.B. Ball and Dave Weingarten. Have you had that? Have either of those guys?
JB killed it on the show.
Oh yeah, JB's great. And you probably know Dave as well. So
dude, he's ripped as hell. I want his body. That dude is ripped. Yeah, he was on too.
Yeah, that's not the first quality people usually talk about when it comes to Dave. But we've established that you're a deviant. We've established that you're a deviant, so it's fine.
Oh no, I'm weird. Like I can appreciate when a dude is ripped.
He puts in the work at the gym. Yeah,
I can appreciate
absolutely.
that.
I got more hair than him, so that makes me happy. If you're listening, Dave, fuck you. But so we go do this show in Arcadia, Florida.
Sounds exciting.
It sounds like dragons are involved. They weren't involved. But basically, we thought it was a fellow comic from down there. Won't say his name, but he knows who he is. But invites us down to do this show, promises some money. I forget how much, but basically me and Dave were the features, and then JB was going to be the headliner. It's like this little saloon in the middle of nowhere.
Ooh,
right?
Sounds great.
And we drive up, and we're like, we could just leave, right, and not do this show because we know this is going to be awful. But we're like, okay, we'll stick it out.
And what happened?
It was one of those shows which I like to call a surprise comedy, which is that you're hanging out at the bar, you're at the bar or a restaurant with your friends, and then all of a sudden these comedians try and talk to you, and they get mad when you were talking, which is your original purpose to be here. Surprise comedy. So Dave goes up. I think he ate it. Oh, God. So this was so Dave went up first. I think I went up second, and then the host was, I don't know, high off of something. And so it basically strolled up like half an hour late.
That's like every awful comedy show.
Right. And so basically we both do awful. Like no one wants to do comedy or wants to hear comedy. We don't want to do comedy. It's miserable. JB goes up and he's trying, bless his soul. So he starts talking to some of the crowd and he starts making fun of some of these guys, right? Just 'cause, like, they're typical, like, wigger sort of, like, you know, like, hat and...
Yo, what up?
Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am. And so, and then they're loving it, but then, or they're taking it, rather. And then, one of the girls with one of these guys, just makes, like, the finger gun motion at JB, right?
Yeah.
And then we're like, holy shit, is JB about to get shot right now?
Are you serious?
Right. And we're all JB's like has that same realization. He's like, okay, maybe I better not talk shit about these guys anymore. And then we didn't die and we got the hell out of there as soon as possible.
Was it a racist area?
Anywhere that's not a major city is a racist area in Florida.
I've never heard the N-word be dropped so many times casually just when you're in like a Speedway or a Wawa or you're at Target.
Think about where we're at right now with Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. Any of these cities that are tangential to these cities are racist. Largo, Dunedin, Lakeland,
Land
Lutz, Land O'Lakes. Any of them.
Bradenton.
They've got rednecks.
Oh, it's basically...
It is what it is.
Rednecks and water.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with. You know,
like, I kind of like it. It's an adventure.
You know,
it's so boring in the Midwest.
It's like I understand their purpose in the grand scheme of things, but I mean,
they make you realize that you're a better person. Like nothing makes you feel more confident than when you hear someone just keep dropping the N-word and you're like, okay, I'm smarter and I'm better than you.
Yeah, but
dummy.
But like I know, just a general rule of thumb, if I get booked for a show that's not in Tampa, St. Pete, or Clearwater, there's going to be people in the crowd who are going to be racist.
Have you ever been called the N-word? Like at a comedy show, even though you're not
like hard ER.
Either ones, yeah.
I don't hard ER definitely no, because that's just like confusing racism. Like it's like. Like, not only are you racist, but you're not even properly researching your racial slurs. Like, call me a sand like a camel jockey or something like that, or call me Apu. Like, be correct with your racism. If you're
Get it right.
If you're gonna come at me with racism, like I want like well-researched racism, you know?
Yeah.
So I've definitely gotten some of those. Yeah. I've been thinking about this. I've been trying to formulate this, but it's like Donald Trump
scares me.
All he's doing. Like I think Bernie Sanders said, like he's like taking advantage because people are scared and stuff like that. No, Donald Trump is a thing because there are racist people in America, and they've never had somebody who shares their ideology so much to rally behind. And he exists because he's self-funded. If he went through the Republican National Committee or Democrat, they would have been like, "No, you're crazy.
What do you think of him?
We can't give you money. We can't give you money." They'd be like, "No, forget no." But then he's coming in self-funded, so. Now he's got a platform, and now people are like, "Oh man, we didn't have." You know, the term that everyone always says is, "You know what? He's not politically correct. That's why I like him." There's a difference between not being politically correct and being a racist and lazy racism. You know,
he scares me, and I'm not even just saying that. It's just to me, his demographic is everyone who's like, "What I like about him is he says what everyone's thinking." Great. Then be a radio personality. Then be on TV. But that doesn't mean you're a president.
Donald Trump is a shitty open mic comedian. That's my take. He's a shitty open mic comedian who's like, "Yeah, you guys just don't get what I'm doing."
He's like a loudmouth, like shock jock on the radio that just says what's on his...
Right. And like this shitty open mic...
Let's build a wall. Like, okay,
like
dude.
a shitty open mic comedian will be like, "Hey, aren't Mexicans lazy?" And, you know, like that's just what he's doing. He's just an open mic comedian.
It's so true. Like, I went to an open mic about 8 days ago at Side Splitters.
Yeah.
And this dude just does a comedy routine on white girls saying the N-word, and then he drops the N-word twice and just walks out of Side Splitters.
Yeah.
He's no different than Trump.
He is. Yeah, the only difference is Trump's got money, and he's got
the audience,
and he's not. Yeah, and he's got an audience who agrees with him because he's not trying to make him laugh.
I've never liked him.
He's just saying opinions. Like, he's basically he's a shitty comedian who only has setups.
He just yells things like "wall, ban Muslims." Like, if
funny.
He becomes president, dude, I don't even think it'll matter. We're just doomed either way.
The fact that and I think the fact that he's got to run is concerning as it is. You know.
It's just because you look at all the other Republicans. Ted Cruz is just a douche who I was watching a Daily Show. Nobody likes being around him. Like, he's such a narcissist. I'm not saying I'm defending Trump, but you just read online.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no good interactions. Like, Ted Cruz is a legit douche.
Absolutely. Like, another reason why Trump exists is because the Republicans are so weak right now. But like
Rubio just seems like such a pussy. Like,
by the way, Cruz, I forget the guy's name, but like there's a former like roommate.
That's what I'm talking about.
God, he's so funny because he's just he said something that got me rolling. He said even I don't agree with Ted Cruz's policies, but even if I agreed 100% with Ted Cruz's policies, I would only hate him 1% less because he's still terrible.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the Daily Show.
So
is that
funny.
Everybody hates being around him. All his former interns, all his coworkers, that he's just an awful person. He seems like a narcissist. Like,
probably.
And then Rand Paul annoys me. And then Marco Rubio said gay people adopting kids is a social experience. I'm just like, what? It's an experiment? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they're all imbeciles. And then I guess I lean on the left side just because I'm for abortion and gay marriage and that. And then there's nobody good on the left side. Like, do you think Obama was a good president? Like, I can't even tell. I think he got way too much hate, and because he was black, people just kind of rip on him.
Yeah.
I think we're going to realize what we didn't. It'll be a case of you don't know what you had until it was gone. Once he's gone, and it's like the year 2018, we're going to say, gee, he was a decent president. That's how I view it.
Maybe.
I've been thinking about it. Just, he's okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be, and I don't think he's as good as people make him out to be.
I think he's average.
Yeah.
He did what he could.
Yeah.
But we're screwed either way. We are screwed either way. You've seen the movie Idiocracy?
I'm familiar with the idea.
Oh. It's true, dude. Like, it's just,
I don't
you
think I ever
gotta
saw it,
watch
though.
it. It's on HBO Go. It's just,
Okay.
we're done. We're doomed. It's made by Mike Judge, who made like King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead and all that. It's a great movie. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Idiocracy,
Are you
yeah.
gonna vote?
Um,
I'm not. I'm.
Well, let's see. I'm interested to see how this shakes out. It's interesting to see Bernie Sanders come up.
Well, because
he-
Hillary's such a C word, everyone's rooting against
He's
her.
a bit too. Give Bernie some credit because again, he's a bit too extreme for me. But I like that he exists because it used to be like Ralph Nader all the time, and no one gave a shit about Ralph Nader because he was just like some guy. He wasn't that charismatic. He wasn't saying like the right things for somebody who's that almost third party sort of candidate. So it's interesting, and I think the only reason I'm so interested in him is because he had lunch with Killer Mike one time, and I'm like, I fuck with Killer Mike, so it's like transitive property. I'm Bernie's on my.
It's the greatest picture ever.
Oh
too.
yeah, I love it. That's like the only thing that's earned my vote so far.
Oh, it's the greatest picture.
Like,
Of them in Atlanta.
I could
at
give
that lunch
give a
table.
shit about any of these guys' politics. It's like have dinner. Like the fact that he had lunch with Killer Mike means like he's doing something I could identify with. You know,
He's trying to fit in with the cool kids.
right? It's working.
And what I saw online is what's working for him is that he's the cool grandpa that like us millennials can relate to, and that's what he's doing a good job with.
Yeah. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out between him and Hillary.
Now,
And
before I let you go, like, where can people find your work in your upcoming shows?
Obviously, cigarcitycomedy.com. I think my website is down because that's how good I am at self-promotion. But I'm on Twitter, Fire When Ready. That's Reddy. I'm on Instagram. I post pictures of delicious food, so get at me on there.
You and every white girl ever.
Oh, man, I'm such a white girl. I know it.
I am too, don't worry.
Like, my Instagram, like, if you put, like, a white girl over it, like, it wouldn't be... you wouldn't be like, oh, this is weird. You'd be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's... hit me up on social media and stuff, and...
Dude, I'm kind of sad. I'm running out of everybody from Cigar City Comedy to have on. You guys
You gotta
are fucking
run
great.
through it again.
I'm going to definitely get Matt on again. I had Matt on in September, and he killed it.
Yeah.
He was so laid back. I was like, that dude just opened up for Doug Benson last night. No big deal.
Yeah. He's
Tampa Bay's
my
got
boy.
good comedy.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can go probably head to head with just about any other scene. I feel strongly
Cleveland's
about that.
okay because I worked there.
I feel
but
strongly about that.
Tampa's just so diverse and such a transplant city that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is so unique. You have the MTV guy and John Jacobs. You have the middle-aged guy and Michael Murillo. You have Law. You have J.B. Ball. You, Joe Riga, David Weingarten, the UFC guy.
That's
It's
kind of-
so diverse. It's great.
Especially with our little... It sounds cliquey, but it is like our group is like we all kind of have our own sort of directions that we're sort of taking this thing, which makes it fun, you know. It doesn't feel like anyone's competing.
Yeah, I really like what John Jacobs is doing. He's a funny dude.
Absolutely.
Me and him just talked back and forth just like this for 70 minutes. Actually, all you guys are. Like, it's amazing how I'll bring in other comedians and even like big names. You kind of run out of things to talk about, but you guys are so easy to talk to. It's just like two dudes drinking a beer at the local bar, just talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Well, dude, thank you for coming on Hoppe Hour, and I'd love to have you again.
Absolutely.
All right.
Can I plug shows real quick?
No, of course not. Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right, because I actually just saw a message that you're going to
What?
be helping us out with this.
Oh, yeah, on Saturday.
The Crumpled Napkin Show, which is a pretty cool idea. Basically, we got to tell jokes from audience-suggested topics. That'll be 6 p.m. at Side Splitters, and I'm actually there the rest of the week, and I'm hosting for Dom Herrera, who's a
Oh, you are?
Yeah, he's a legend, man.
I want to go to that show.
Yeah, I still haven't seen him, but I'm hyped, so it'll be a fun weekend.
You know who I'm hyped for?
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of now? Joe Mackey. That
Joe
dude,
Mackey. I don't know if I know Joe Mackey.
he will be there in late February.
Oh,
he was
okay.
on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah. Okay, it's coming to me now. Yeah.
He's
a
funny
beast.
as hell.
All right.
He's the nervous reporter on Fox News. That's his character, the frightened reporter. Oh, he's on the Opie and Jimmy show a lot, dude. I'm hoping to get him on. I'm a big fan of.
That'll be dope. Yeah.
New York has good comedy too, obviously, because it's the biggest city, but that's where it's at.
Absolutely.
But we're underrated. We're up and coming.
Agreed.
In 5 years, Tampa Bay is going to explode.
We got to get to that next tier of comedy cities. That's I think the main goal. Yeah.
And I see Cigar City exploding because a lot of people will hit me up, like comedians, and most of them have been good, but a few have been kind of hacky. And they're like, I see what you're doing with Cigar City. No, approach me to come on the show. And I'm not saying I'm too cool for them, but I'll look up their work, and it's nothing to what you guys are doing. And I'm like, I'm not being selective, but I'm not just going to have any comedian on.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the whole idea, is that, like, you can go to that Cigar City Comedy brand and be like, okay, it doesn't matter who I pick out of this.
And it's so
gonna
organized.
It's going to be good, you know?
So
that's what we try and do. Absolutely.
All right, man. Keep up the good work. I love what you guys are
Absolutely.
doing.
Likewise, man. It was good talking with you.
All right. Peace out.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.